Meanwhile, Donald Trump has betrayed NATO, he has betrayed Ukraine, and now he seems to have betrayed Taiwan. His statements in the last 24 hours make it clear. After dismissing security guarantees for Ukraine in exchange for a mineral deal, he has refused to commit to defending Taiwan if China invades, all while quoting Russia as well as China. You see, this is how America operates. If you serve its interests, you get support. And if you don't, you seem to not matter. And under Donald Trump, that policy is more blatant than ever at this point. And here we have two countries facing conflict, one already facing invasion and another on the brink of a possible invasion. And both have been cast aside in a way. Let's start off with Taiwan. Since returning to the White House, Donald Trump has been deliberately vague as far as Taiwan is concerned. He has carefully chosen his words when it comes to Taiwan. But when a reporter pressed him on the U.S. allied island that China claims as its own on Wednesday, Trump refused to give a straightforward answer. He said, and I'm quoting, "I never comment on that. I don't comment on any because I don't want to ever put myself in that position. And if I said it, I certainly would not say it to you. I'd be saying it to other people, maybe people around this table," quote unquote. You see, Trump's decision not to address the Taiwan question is in stark contrast to former President Joe Biden, who repeatedly stated the U.S. would defend Taiwan if China attacked Taiwan. But make no mistake here, Trump is not exactly breaking new ground on Taiwan. He has always favored strategic ambiguity, a long-standing strategy of the U.S. on Taiwan, in fact. You see, under U.S. law, the Taiwan Relations Act, Taiwan gets weapons from America, but not a guarantee that it will come to Taiwan's defense in case of a war. In fact, Washington has never recognized Taiwan as a sovereign state. Under Joe Biden, the U.S. took a strong chance against China, sailing warships through the Taiwan Strait despite warnings, allowing high-profile visits like Nancy Pelosi's in 2022, and using arms sales as a tool of showing support. What's happening under Donald Trump? America is questioning whether Taiwan is even worth protecting, it seems. America under Trump is questioning the value of its support. Trump has accused Taiwan of, quote-unquote, stealing the U.S. semiconductor business. He has criticized it for trade surpluses with America. He has floated the idea of making Taiwan pay for its own defense. And what does all of that tell you? What value does Taiwan hold for America? Is Taiwan an ally, a strategic asset, a business rival, or just a bargaining chip against China? It's not clear. Taiwan sees a shift as well, by the way. It has increased its defense spending while seeking closer ties with the U.S. And as for Donald Trump, he appears to focus on negotiations and business deals rather than military commitments. And this resembles his approach to Ukraine as well. Before the war, the U.S. rallied Europe, warned of a Russian invasion, and poured weapons into Ukraine. Former President Joe Biden openly supported Kyiv and condemned the Russian President Vladimir Putin. And what's happening now? Trump has turned on NATO, denied Ukraine security guarantees, and after speaking to Vladimir Putin, shifted blame to Ukraine itself. He aims to end the conflict by proposing a deal that would basically have Ukraine share at least 50% of its mineral resource revenues with the U.S. Trump has also accused the Ukrainian president of tricking America into supporting the war, calling him a dictator without elections, quote unquote. On the third anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war, the U.S. voted against a UN resolution condemning the Russian invasion, joining countries like Russia, Belarus, North Korea. 3 years of war, thousands of lives lost. And now America under Trump is pushing for Ukraine to do what? Cede territory? Submit to Russia, is it? So what was this war for anyway? Why arm Ukraine and dangle hopes of NATO membership at all if you are going to abandon it? And what happens to Ukraine now? The truth is, America has stretched itself too thin globally. It has realized that it cannot sustain its involvement in supporting Ukraine or Europe. Its moralistic approach to foreign adversaries has not yielded results. And that is what we are seeing playing out right now. Ukraine, a lost cause. Taiwan, not worth a war with China, especially when there is potential for real business with Russia and China. And that's the real face of American foreign policy, it seems. You're useful and important until you are not. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't you just love the feeling of having a good meal? Well, it turns out whales express that feeling by singing. I know what you might be wondering. How do we know that? Well, thanks to a study. More specifically, a 6-year study. One of the key findings is related to whales' acoustic behavior. Audio recordings were examined, and just for context here, what did the analysis of the sound recordings reveal? Whales can be heard from far away. In fact, the study used sound recordings, photo identification, diet analysis, apart from other means, to find out more. The study started in 2015. And what was found? That the whale species examined sang the least during heat wave and sang more as the foraging conditions improved over the next 2 years. So basically, we can say that their singing behavior could be closely linked to food availability. The research, in fact, also shows listening to whales is much more than just a rich sensory experience. It's more important than that. It tells us more about them and, in turn, helps us understand them better. So this underwater symphony, as it can be called, is more than just singing. It also is an integral tool to improve our understanding of what's happening in our oceans and the impact on marine life. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.